If you feel like you've been working hard but getting nowhere, then look at the Los Angeles Clippers, because this season, they might be the perfect example of it. A team that spent big, went all in, and still walked away with nothing. In the play-in opener, the Clippers lost 121-126 at home to the Golden State Warriors. Not only did that end their season early, it also handed the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder an unprotected 2026 first-round lottery pick. Because teams eliminated in the play-in still enter the lottery, back when the Clippers traded SGA for Paul George in that infamous 9-for-1 deal, they included multiple first-round picks, including an unprotected 2026 pick. That means while the Thunder are chasing a championship, they're also guaranteed at least the number 14 pick in 2026. And if luck breaks their way, there's even a 1.8% chance they land the number 1 pick, like the Dallas Mavericks did with Cooper Flagg. If this were a rebuilding or tanking team, fine. But here's the problem, the Clippers paid $6.66 million in luxury tax this season, ranking 6th in the league. Among the 5 teams that paid more, for secured full playoff spots, the only exception was the Warriors. So what exactly went wrong for the Clippers to end up here? At the core, it comes down to flawed team-building logic. Simply put, they tried to do both. Last offseason, the Clippers made a series of moves and were seen as having won the offseason. But anyone who understands basketball could see the problem. Aging players like Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, and Bradley Beal simply couldn't carry the load in high-intensity games anymore. Those legs just weren't built for an 82-game grind at this point. Sure enough, aside from Lopez, the others eventually faded out of the picture. A flawed roster, combined with questionable coaching, led to a disastrous start. At one point, they were at the bottom of the West. Then James Harden requested a trade. Losing Harden hurt more than it looked. The Clippers lost their primary playmaker, half-court organization, pick-and-roll initiation, late-game ball control, all of it gone. Kawhi Leonard is a great ball handler, but he's not a natural offensive organizer. When double-teamed, he can't make reads the way Harden can. Now, Harden leaving was his own decision. That's not entirely on management. But trading Ivica Zubac, that's where things get harder to justify. Yes, Zubac limited their spacing. Without him, the offense did look more fluid. That's partly how they climbed from the bottom into the play-in, especially with Lopez stepping into a larger role. But here's the real question. What do the Clippers actually want? If they're rebuilding, then trading away a core player in his prime like Zubac makes no sense. He's still elite at rim protection, rebounding, and finishing. The issue is fit. He didn't mesh with their wing-heavy system. Trading him gave them a short-term boost. But long-term, it feels like a short-term fix with a long-term cost. And it showed. In the play-in loss to Golden State, their interior defense got completely exposed by small ball lineups. On the flip side, if the goal was to compete now, then what they got back for Harden and Zubac simply wasn't enough. With Kawhi untouchable and coach Tyronn Lue firmly backed, Harden and Zubac were their 2 most valuable trade assets. They could have brought back real win-now pieces. Instead, they ended up with players like Darius Garland, still recovering, and Bennedict Mathurin, who's inconsistent. The front office decisions are the biggest reason for this outcome. They wanted both the present and the future, and ended up with neither. Then there's the coaching. Lue's rotations and adjustments often feel a step too slow. By the time fans see the problem, the adjustment still hasn't come. At times, it almost feels like he's coaching off social media reactions. But during games, no phone, no outside input, and suddenly, there's no answer. To be fair, without a first-round pick, tanking made little sense this season. Taking one last shot was understandable. But now that it failed, the Clippers have to ask themselves, can this Lue and Kawhi foundation really win a championship? Or is it finally time for a full reset?